Hi you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Because it is Earth Day tomorrow, I wanted to make a list for you guys of the 50 things that I no longer buy. Some of these items are swaps for a more eco-friendly alternative, and some of these things I literally just don't buy because they just cost a lot of money. So I just want to share those things with you guys today. Also, I am at my boyfriend's apartment, so this is a little bit different of a setup today. So I hope you guys really like the setup. I have my tea, and let's just get started with these 50 things that I no longer buy. So the first thing I no longer buy are plastic toothpaste bottles. I ran across this brand in Target and it's called David's toothpaste. And what's really nice about this toothpaste is that it's all natural, but also the body, like the tube part of it is aluminum, so it's 100% recyclable. And then the cap part of it is plastic, so that is also recyclable. So I just thought this was a great swap for just your regular everyday toothpaste. It's 100% recyclable and it's 100% natural. So to go along with that, my second thing is I no longer buy plastic toothbrushes. Lately, I have been buying these bamboo toothbrushes that you can literally burn after you're done with it, or you can compost after you're done with it. But I have purchased mine in the past from a company called Restore. I know that you can also find these on Etsy and on Amazon, but I think they're a great alternative to plastic toothbrushes because plastic toothbrushes take up to 1,000 years to disintegrate. Next thing is souvenirs. I travel a lot. I've lived in Guatemala and Africa. I have lived in Honduras. I've lived in a lot of places, and I don't buy souvenirs just to buy a souvenir. A lot of times there are cool things like a bobblehead or a mug or something like that, but when I get back to the States, I just always find that I never use those items. They just kind of sit on my shelf somewhere and they're just something just to kind of look at. So if I do buy something when I'm traveling, it is usually something of like a clothing item or maybe a pair of shoes or a bag, because those things I know I will absolutely use when I get back to the United States. The next thing kind of goes along with the first two things I mentioned, and that is I no longer buy mouthwash. If you're brushing your teeth every morning and every night and every time after you eat, I just really don't see the need for using mouthwash. The next thing is kind of interesting, but I actually don't use any laundry detergent. What I've been using instead are these soap nuts. These are like all natural and vegan, and they're basically what they sound like. They are a nut, and you will crack them open and you will put them in a little baggie, and then you put them into your laundry and it washes like regular soap, but it is all natural. And then after that, when you're done with them, I think they can be used up to like 6 loads, I believe. You just compost them. So I absolutely love these. As you can see, I'm like at the bottom of my bag, so soon I will need to be repurchasing these. The next thing is toxic nail polish. I try to never buy anything with acetone in it, but I stumbled across this in Target the other day, and this is a nail polish remover that is made from soy, and it is from the brand Ella and Mila. And I purchased the unscented version, but I know there is a lavender version, and it works just like your regular nail polish remover, except it doesn't have any scent to it. No toxins, no harmful chemicals or anything like that.
Now I'm done.
The next thing is plaster wrap. I never buy plastic wrap. Instead, I buy these reusable honey beeswax wraps. These work literally just like your regular plastic wrap, except you can wash them by hand, and then you can reuse them, I think, up to about 12 months or so. But it just saves tons of unnecessary plastic waste in the landfills. I can't remember exactly where I bought these from, but I will check it up and I will leave the link in the description box below for you guys. The next thing is coffee. I try to almost never really buy coffee at Starbucks. Of course, if it's an occasion and I'm going out with a friend or my boyfriend, of course I will go out and buy a Starbucks cup of coffee, but I never go to Starbucks just before work. I always try to make my coffee at home and then bring it into work. Also, my boyfriend and I have been roasting our own coffee as of lately, so we actually haven't been buying coffee at all from the store. And him and I are in the process of making a video for you guys about how we roast our own coffee, so be on the lookout for that. The next thing is makeup wipes, and if you guys are new to this channel, you might not know that I model here in Minneapolis, and so a couple times a week I do have a full face of makeup on. And a little bit after starting modeling, I just realized that it's just very wasteful and it's just unnecessary. It's just another thing that you need to purchase. But now all I do is I just use some coconut oil and I use that to take off my makeup, and then I just use a regular cloth. So the next thing I don't buy are sponges. Sponges you can use for your dishes, your floor, your bathroom, but instead I honestly just use a wash rag. I have specific wash rags that I use to clean my dishes and my floors and my bathrooms. I just find that it's one less thing to purchase and just have around your house. The next thing is kind of weird, but it is poop bags for your pets. I have a lot of family members that when they're checking out, they use a lot of plastic bags, and they just have tons and tons of bags at their house. So I just find that instead of buying plastic bags from Target or Walmart, I just use the plastic bags that my family gives me. And another kind of interesting thing that I do is every time that I buy a bag of bread, I actually use that plastic bag that the bread comes in. I use those actually as poop bags too. The next thing is books. You can find audiobooks, you can find books and read them online. What I tend to do is actually buy books used, or I'm kind of old school and I get my books from the library sometimes. The next thing is kind of obvious, but it is grocery bags. I always have some in my apartment, and then I always have some in my car, and they're just there every single time that I go shopping. Stationery. I am always gifted stationery a lot of the times for my birthday and for Christmas. So another kind of weird thing that I do is whenever I get junk mail in my mailbox, I use those envelopes and I literally just write my kind of grocery lists on them, and that's a way that I found that I have reused my junk mail. So by writing and making lists on my junk mail and also being gifted stationery items, I never find that I need to go out and buy a notebook or post-it notes or a new journal. The next thing are vegetable bags. So when you're buying vegetables or fruit, I never use those little plastic bags. Instead, what I use are these cloth cotton bags, or a lot of the times when I forget that, I just kind of throw the fruit or the vegetables in my cart, and when I get home, I just wash them really, really well. The next thing are movies and DVDs. Honestly, there are so many outlets where you can buy movies or DVDs or watch them. You can go on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime. Also, you can buy and rent movies from YouTube as well. It just creates more clutter in my apartment, and I just find that they get scratched so easily. And since there's so many platforms to buy and rent movies on, I just never find the need to go out and actually physically buy the movie itself. Next thing is kind of obvious, but plastic water bottles. My family still buys plastic water bottles. They always recycle the plastic water bottles, but it is something where I just find that it's so unnecessary. I think it's so much more cost effective just to buy one water bottle and keep refilling it and reusing it. The next thing are hair ties to keep my hair up. I was gifted a pack of like 20 like 2 years ago, and I still have those same hair ties from 2 years ago. I also am a huge scrunchie user, so I have my same 4 scrunchies that I've had for I think a couple of years now, and they still work great. The next thing are dryer sheets. I find that I don't need to use dryer sheets because I use these wool dryer balls. I purchased these on Etsy, and I will leave them down in the description box below for you guys, but basically they're just 100% wool. So you just throw them in the dryer just like you would a dryer sheet, and they help soften your clothes, they help them dry. You can also put essential oils into these wool dryer balls, and it'll kind of freshen up your clothes. But what's really great about these is they last, I think, up to 4 years or something like that. It's something crazy. And then after you're done with them, you can actually just throw them in the compost and they will disintegrate. The next thing is a big thing for me, and I think a big thing for a lot of people, but the next thing I don't really buy is makeup. I'm not saying that I never buy makeup, but I just find that the only thing that I ever use up is my mascara. Every so often I'll go through a chapstick, every so often I'll go through a lipstick, but honestly, it takes me a couple years to go through those items, and every time I just go into Ulta, I just see all the beautiful packaging and all the new makeup products, and I want to buy something new, but I just found that I have not even used up my own products that I have at home. So as of a couple months ago, I stopped buying more makeup, and I'm only buying more makeup when I have run out of something. The next thing I don't purchase is kind of interesting, but I actually do not purchase any sort of feminine products, so any tampons, any pads. What I found that works for me the best are cloth pads or these Thinx underwear. If you guys don't know about Thinx, they make underwear for that time of the month. I absolutely love them. They're kind of mesh on the side, and they actually really do work. The next thing are like knickknacks or tchotchkes, those little things that you just have in your house that just kind of sit on a shelf and you just don't really do anything with. I used to absolutely love stuff like this when I was a kid, but I just found that over time I just had so much of it, and moving to college and then moving into my apartment and then moving abroad and then moving back to my apartment, it just got so much to kind of store away and to haul around all the time. So I stopped spending money on just those little trinkets and little cute things that kind of just sat on my shelf and collected dust. The next thing is something I want to do in the future, and that is to not buy plants. I absolutely love plants. I have so many plants in my apartment and I absolutely love them, but I recently watched a video on YouTube about how you can kind of breed your plants, and specifically pothos plants. Pothos plants are super easy to grow. They like never die. I have a ton of pothos plants in my apartment, and I watched this YouTube video recently of all you have to do is to cut the vine of the pothos plant, put that vine in a glass of water, and it will start growing roots. It's that easy, and it's not something that I have done quite as of yet, but it's something that I do want to start doing in the future, probably this summer or this fall. Going along with that, plant pots. Plant pots can get quite expensive, and I find that I can always find some on Facebook Marketplace, or I can find some on Craigslist, or I can find them at Goodwill or secondhand stores. The next thing is alcohol and soda. I rarely ever buy alcohol. I'm not a huge alcohol drinker. I will drink ciders every so once in a while, but I find that I never usually buy alcohol anyway. But another thing is I never buy soda. I just know that I save a lot of money from not purchasing soda, and also I think it's just healthier for me. The next thing is plastic or paper products that you find in your kitchen. So plastic cups or styrofoam cups or forks or spoons, utensils, paper plates, anything like that, I no longer purchase. Again, I just think it's more eco-friendly just to use a regular plate. I find that I just save a lot of money because it's just one less thing that I need to buy. The next thing is air fresheners. I live in a really small apartment. It's like 300 square feet. So when I need to kind of freshen up my apartment, I will literally just open up all of my windows. I will put some water and essential oil in a squirt bottle and I will squirt that around my house. I find that is actually a natural way to keep bugs away. The next thing I don't buy are decorative items. And I'm specifically talking about the things that kind of sit on your table or your coffee table or sit on your kitchen counter. Those things I don't buy. I just find that one, either I'm gifted those items a lot of the time, or two, I like to have plants a lot in my apartment. So I will have a plant in the middle of my coffee table. The next thing is cheap jewelry. I just find that they break after a while or the gold kind of wears off after a while. I also have super sensitive skin, so I break out. So altogether, I just kind of stay away from cheap jewelry. I want to invest in something now, something that will last me a long time. The next thing are bobby pins. I swear to goodness, I have so many bobby pins. I model here in Minneapolis. Every time I get my hair and makeup done, I come home with a head full of bobby pins and I just save them in a jar and I almost never use them, but I just have a ton of them, so I just never find the need to go out and buy bobby pins. The next thing are paper clips. I don't know why, but I just have a ton of paper clips. I never find the need that I need to go out and buy paper clips. Whenever I get a paper clip from work, I just keep them in a jar. I never throw them away. The next thing is gum, and I won't say that I never buy gum anymore, but I never buy the packets of gum that are individually wrapped. I always buy like a jar of gum, if that makes sense. Ones that are not individually wrapped, I just find that the plastic bottle itself is recyclable and then you won't be throwing the gum wrappers into the trash. Next thing is I don't buy any toothpicks. I find that just brushing my teeth and flossing my teeth is enough. The next thing is occasional party items, and I'm specifically kind of talking about things that you usually wear for a birthday party or a bachelorette party. Things like hats or whistles or shirts that say bride or bridal party on them. I just find that a lot of times I purchase them and they go straight in the trash, or I purchase them and I donate them to Goodwill. So I just really try not to buy them unless I absolutely need to. The next thing are new clothes. And I do obviously buy new clothes when it's something like underwear or bras or socks, things you can't buy secondhand. I also do buy new clothes like shirts and pants and stuff like that, but I always want to make sure I couldn't find that item secondhand first. The company that I buy a lot of clothes from is a company called ThredUp. It's like an online secondhand store, and if I cannot find the item that I'm specifically looking for on ThredUp, then I will go ahead and buy it from another company new, but I always try to find something secondhand first if I can. The next thing are candles. I get gifted candles all the time for my birthday, for Christmas, and I just find that there's no need for me to go out and purchase candles for myself. Perfumes are also something that I get gifted quite a lot, so I never usually buy perfumes. I did buy a perfume probably 2 years ago and I absolutely loved it, and to this day I still absolutely love it. I use it every so once in a while, so therefore I don't feel the need to go out and buy another perfume. The next thing is seasonal decor, so decorating items for Christmas or Thanksgiving or Halloween. I just find that it's more stuff that I just need to find somewhere to store in my apartment, and I think I might buy some more seasonal items when I start having kids and I'm married. But right now, just me by myself in my little apartment, I don't find the need to buy a lot of seasonal items. Next thing is I never buy razors anymore. I actually use something called an epilator. An epilator is an eco-friendly alternative to razors. They do hurt a little bit in the beginning, but I promise your skin gets used to it. And my mom gifted me this probably 10 years ago for Christmas, and I still have it and I still use it. Mugs. I do not buy mugs anymore. I just had a ton of mugs that I had from college. I found that I never went through and used all of them. I just kind of bought them because they were cute or they had this fun saying on them. And again, it's one of those things that I feel like I'm gifted a lot. Cars. I know cars are super great and they smell so great when they are brand new. I just know that if I buy a new car, as soon as I drive it off the lot, it just depreciates in value so much. So therefore, I've only purchased old cars, mainly because I can't afford a new car. But even in the future, I don't even think I will ever buy a new car. I think I will always purchase used ones. I also no longer buy fabric softener, and this kind of goes along with the dryer balls. Instead of fabric softener, I found these lavender dryer bags from Trader Joe's. They come in these basically white pouches, these white little satchels, and I don't use these every single time I do laundry. I just kind of do it when I'm running a cycle for my clothes. They just kind of soften up your clothes and they make them smell really nice and fresh. And you can use these 5 to 10 times per satchel. And then after that, the bag is compostable and lavender itself is compostable. So I just throw in the compost and it's good. Next thing is household cleaners. I find that I do not need a cleaner for my mirror and then my toilet toilet and then my floor and then my countertop. I literally just have one all-purpose cleaner, and it seems to do the job for basically everything that I need to clean in my house. The next thing are coffee filters. So I do not buy coffee filters. I do not drink coffee on a regular basis. I'm more of a tea person, but my boyfriend has been making me coffee in this little coffee espresso maker. I'm not really sure what this thing is called. If you guys know what this is called, please leave it down in the description box below because I am interested in it. But basically this is a way that you can make espresso and you can make a nice latte, and you do not need to buy any sort of coffee filters for it. Next thing are plastic phone cases. I did not know this existed until I bought my iPhone. After buying my phone, I did not want a plastic phone case. I wanted something that was eco-friendly, and I found this company called Pila. I did an unboxing and review of this for you guys. I will leave that video in the description box below. But basically this phone case is 100% compostable. So once you throw this in your compost pile, it will break down within 90 days. And that's because it's made out of vegetable products. I'm not really quite sure how that works, but I do know that I will never buy a plastic phone case ever again. The next thing are subscriptions. I'm not very much of a TV watcher. If I do want to watch a movie or a TV show, I will rent it. But I just find that a lot of subscriptions, they're a couple dollars here and a couple dollars there, and they all kind of add up over time. And I'm more of a reader than I am a TV watcher. So I just find that I'm saving a lot of money monthly by not being subscribed to something. To go along with that, I do not purchase any subscription boxes. I have in the past. I was subscribed to BoxyCharm and also Kinder Beauty Box. They send you about 5 products every single month. I just found that every single time I received a box, I would only really like 2 to maybe 3 items in the box, and then the other 2 items in the box were just kind of a waste for me. And so I just found that I just didn't need it anymore. I tried it out for about 6 months and I just canceled it after that. So the next thing I do not buy are apps on my phone. I just find that I never have needed to buy an app on my phone. A lot of apps are free or they have a free version to them. So I just never have found that I've needed to buy an app on my phone. The next thing is impulse buys. I try to never, ever buy impulse items. I know it can be really hard when you're checking out at Target or H&M or Forever 21. They literally line the checkout aisle with all of these great little trinkets and gifts. But unless I absolutely really need them, I usually will never buy them because it's always like $5 here or $10 here, and all that money just adds up after a while. The next thing is paper towels. I never buy paper towels. I think that just using a regular towel is good enough. Using a regular towel honestly saves so much money, and it saves the earth a lot of garbage. The next thing I don't buy is wrapping paper. I think wrapping paper is just kind of a little bit of a waste. I know they kind of make presents look pretty for Christmas, for birthdays, but honestly, I feel like I'm just buying something just so someone can kind of tear it apart. And then a lot of times I think wrapping paper is not recyclable. So instead of wrapping paper, sometimes what I do is I wrap it in newspaper and I kind of put a twine around it. And that's kind of a nice vintagey way of wrapping up a gift, or I use just reusable bags. The next thing is napkins. I found my napkins at World Market and I really like them. They're just white and they have actually a little llama on the front. I think they're absolutely adorable and they have saved me tons of money. It's easier, it's more eco-friendly, it's more cost-effective if you just buy a pack of 10 of them and just keep reusing them. So the last thing is kind of interesting, but I don't ever want to buy a new pet. And what I mean by that is I always want to adopt a pet. I actually used to foster cats, and that was before my life kind of got really busy. And I just found that I never really wanted to pay a lot of money for a purebred animal. I think there's a lot of animals out there that need a lot of loving, a lot of cats, a lot of dogs. And so for me personally, I don't believe I will ever buy a new animal from a breeder, if that makes sense. I will always try to get one from a pound. That is it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you sticked around this long, thank you so much for watching. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe and join the family, or give me a thumbs up if you did like this video. Please be on the lookout for a future video where me and my boyfriend will be showing you guys how we roast our own coffee. I think that is it, you guys. I love you guys all so much. Please stay safe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.